I'm Father Derek from the Diocese of Kamloops, and I have some spiritual tips for you in the area of silence. And so it's important things to, if you want to grow deeper in your spiritual journey with Jesus, is the silence before Mass. As much as you're able to, obviously if you have children it's going to be difficult, but as much as you're able to have that quiet time, and perhaps even having a little bit of quiet time in the car before getting to Mass as well. So remember where you have quiet time before Mass, but also the quiet time after Mass. And you may have to start small. It just might be a little thank you, that's a half a minute, and then you might go to a minute, and then 2 minutes, and 5 minutes, and so that before Mass and after Mass. And then there should be several times during Mass where there's silence and quiet time. There's at the very beginning when we are going to pray the collect or the opening prayer, the priest should almost have a little bit of quiet time so that we can collect our prayers and thoughts as we do the opening prayer. Also, it should be a little bit of time before and after each reading, so you prepare by listening to the Word, you kind of empty your mind for a minute, and then you listen to the Word, and then you hear the Word, and then you sit with the Word, whatever word touches you. So there's a little bit of quiet time, silence after each reading. It also helps us to allow a word to kind of hit our heart rather than just rushing from one to the next to the next. And so there's so many little quiet times that can really help out to enter into this habitual disposition of entering into the silence. And also, a good little tip is if you pray the Rosary, and if you're praying by yourself, to pray a decade of the Rosary and then maybe just have a little bit of quiet time. Enter into the silence and just sit with it, and then move on to the next decade. And then after the next decade, just sit with it a little bit, okay, and then move on to the third. You can also apply that to spiritual reading. When you're reading something and something hits you, just sit with it in silence. Don't rush to get to the end of the chapter. Just sit with that. Whatever's touched you, touch your heart, listen, and just be in silence. And obviously you can apply that to sacred scripture, the Bible reading. Just read a little bit and just sit with it and allow a word to hit you. Again, it's that silence, even just before you read the Bible, and then as you're reading the Bible, if something hits you, enter into that silence, and even after you finish reading the Bible, just sit with it. And little by little bit, you'll be developing a spiritual silence, of a habitual disposition of just entering into the silence, so you can enter into that wonder and awe and being in the presence of God at all times.